Without maybe knowing it at the time, I respond to that the value of story so that later on in my life and my career, I saw her on a TV show and I had never seen her before. And I said, that's it. And she was singing Penny's opera. Now, let's dive into the story of Robert Redford, a man whose journey is as captivating as the characters he brought to life on screen. This isn't just a story about fame and success. It's about love, loss, resilience, and the kind of behind-the-scenes drama that even Hollywood couldn't script. So, buckle up, because this is going to be a ride you won't forget. And hey, if you're enjoying this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's your backstage pass to more stories like this. Robert Redford's journey as a filmmaker began with a bold move in 1980 when he directed Ordinary People. This wasn't just another film, it was a defining moment in his career. Based on Judith Guest's 1976 novel, the movie told the story of a wealthy family grappling with the accidental death of one son and the suicide attempt of another. It was a raw, emotional exploration of grief and guilt, and it struck a chord with audiences worldwide. Redford's direction was praised for its depth and attention to detail, and the film grossed $90 million on a budget of just $6.2 million. At the 53rd Academy Awards in 1981, Ordinary People won 4 Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Director for Redford. It was a monumental achievement, especially for a first-time director. But this was just the beginning of Redford's legacy. Before we go further, let's rewind a bit. Robert Redford wasn't always the Hollywood icon we know today. Born Charles Robert Redford Jr. on August 18, 1936, in Santa Monica, California, he grew up in a middle-class family. His father was an accountant, and his mother was a homemaker who instilled in him a love for stories and art. But life wasn't always easy for young Redford. He struggled to fit in, often feeling out of place in the suburban world of Van Nuys, California. His mother's sudden death from septicemia when he was 18 was a devastating blow, leaving him lost and searching for meaning. He turned to sports, excelling in baseball and tennis, but his rebellious nature often got him into trouble. He was expelled from the University of Colorado after just 18 months, and his early life was marked by a series of misadventures, including a brief arrest for petty theft. But even in those turbulent years, there was a spark of something extraordinary in Redford, a determination to carve out his own path. After dropping out of college, Redford traveled through Europe, searching for purpose. He studied art in Paris, lived on bread and cheese, and immersed himself in the bohemian culture of the 1950s. But despite his passion for painting, he felt something was missing. His art lacked originality, and he couldn't find his unique voice. It wasn't until he returned to the U.S. and enrolled at the Pratt Institute in Brooklyn that he discovered acting. It was like a light bulb moment for him. Acting felt natural, like he had finally found his calling. He left Pratt and joined the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York City, where he honed his craft and began to make a name for himself. Redford's early career was a mix of odd jobs and small roles. One of his first professional gigs was on a game show, where instead of being paid in cash, he was given a fishing rod. It was a frustrating moment at the time, but years later, it would feel like a strange twist of fate when he directed A River Runs Through It, a film centered around fly fishing. His big break came on Broadway with Barefoot in the Park, a romantic comedy by Neil Simon. The play was a massive success, running for over 2,500 performances, and Redford's performance caught the attention of Hollywood. He reprised his role in the 1967 film adaptation alongside Jane Fonda, and the movie was a hit, grossing $30 million worldwide. But it was his role in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid in 1969 that truly catapulted him to stardom. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid was a game-changer. Directed by George Roy Hill and co-starring Paul Newman, the film redefined the Western genre with its mix of humor, action, and heartfelt friendship. Redford played the sharpshooting outlaw Sundance, and his chemistry with Newman was electric. The film became the highest-grossing movie of 1969, earning over $100 million, and it cemented Redford's status as a Hollywood leading man. But what many people don't know is that Redford almost didn't get the role. The part of Sundance was originally offered to Steve McQueen, but he dropped out due to a contract dispute. Redford stepped in, and the rest is history. The film not only made him a star, but also sparked a lifelong friendship with Newman. Though Two would reunite in The Sting in 1973, another massive hit that won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Redford's career was marked by a series of iconic roles, but he was always selective about the projects he took on. He turned down The Graduate, a role that eventually went to Dustin Hoffman, because he felt he wasn't right for the part. He also refused to star in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, another Mike Nichols project. Redford wasn't interested in being typecast as a Hollywood heartthrob. He wanted roles that challenged him and allowed him to grow as an actor. This commitment to artistic integrity is what set him apart from many of his peers. But Redford's life wasn't just about professional success. It was also marked by personal tragedy. In 1959, he and his first wife, Lola Van Wagenen, lost their first child, Scott, to sudden infant death syndrome, SIDS. It was a devastating loss that left a permanent scar on Redford's heart. He later described it as a wound that never fully healed. Despite this, he and Lola had 3 more children, but tragedy struck again in 2020 when their son Jamie passed away from bile duct cancer at the age of 58. Jamie had battled health issues for decades, undergoing 2 liver transplants in the 1990s, but he remained a source of inspiration for Redford, co-founding the Redford Center to fight climate change through storytelling. Redford's ability to channel his pain into his work is what made his performances so powerful. In The Natural, 1984, he played Roy Hobbs, a baseball player whose career is shattered by tragedy before making a legendary comeback. The film earned 4 Oscar nominations and became an instant classic. In Out of Africa, 1985, he starred opposite Meryl Streep in a sweeping love story that won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. And in All Is Lost, 2013, at the age of 77, Redford delivered one of the greatest performances of his career, playing a sailor stranded at sea with almost no dialogue. It was a testament to his enduring talent and his ability to command the screen like few others. But Redford's legacy isn't just about his acting. In 1981, he founded the Sundance Institute, a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting independent filmmakers. The Sundance Film Festival, which began in 1978, became a platform for groundbreaking films that might never have found an audience otherwise. Movies like Sex, Lies, and Videotape, Reservoir Dogs, and Clerks all got their start at Sundance, and the festival has become the largest independent film festival in the U.S. Redford's vision was always bigger than just showcasing films. He wanted to change how the industry viewed independent filmmakers, and through the Sundance Institute, he created programs that offered workshops, grants, and mentorship to new voices. Redford's passion for storytelling extended beyond cinema. In 1969, he bought land in Utah's Provo Canyon and named it Sundance, after his famous character in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. While developers saw the land as a business opportunity, Redford had no interest in turning it into a commercial resort. Instead, he focused on sustainability and preserving the landscape, creating a space that blended art, conservation, and recreation. By 2018, after more than 6 decades in film, Redford decided it was time to step away from acting. His final starring role came in The Old Man and the Gun, where he played Forrest Tucker, a real-life career criminal who robbed banks and escaped prison multiple times. Even at 81, Redford brought charm and energy to the character, making Tucker's story feel more like an adventure than a crime spree. Not long after the film's release, Redford confirmed that this would be his last role, officially announcing his retirement. But let's not forget the drama that unfolded behind the scenes of some of his most iconic films. Take The Way We Were, 1973, for example. Redford initially didn't want to star in the film because he felt his character, Hubble Gardner, was shallow and underdeveloped. He told director Sidney Pollack, "Who is this guy? What does he want?" Pollack brought in writers to expand Hubble's character, but Redford still had concerns. He worried about Barbra Streisand's strong personality on set and even asked Pollack, "She's not going to sing in the middle of the movie, is she?" Despite their on-screen chemistry, Redford and Streisand had a complicated dynamic off-screen. Streisand later admitted that Redford was hard to get close to, though he remained professional. Their distance may have actually helped their performances, as their characters were deeply in love but constantly struggling with their differences. When The Way We Were premiered in 1973, it became a major success, winning 2 Academy Awards and cementing the title song as one of Streisand's most famous recordings. But despite their on-screen magic, Redford never worked with Streisand again. And that brings us to the title of this story. Robert Redford truly hated this one co-star. Wow. While the script doesn't explicitly name the co-star, it's clear that the tension between Redford and Streisand was real. He called her character shallow, refused to kiss her in one scene, and made sure they never worked together again. The tension was so bad that even the director couldn't fix it. But despite their differences, both Redford and Streisand respected each other's talent, and their collaboration resulted in one of the most memorable films of the 1970s. Robert Redford's life has been shaped by love, loss, and an unstoppable drive to create. From his early struggles to his rise as a Hollywood icon, his story is a testament to the power of resilience and reinvention. Whether he was acting, directing, or championing independent filmmakers, Redford always stayed true to his vision, leaving an indelible mark on the world of cinema. And there you have it, the untold story of Robert Redford, a man who defied the odds and became a legend. If you've made it this far, you're clearly a fan of deep dives into Hollywood's golden era. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more stories like this. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming. Next!